It's an amazing event. It's changed my life. I didn't expect it to change my life, but it did. I don't know any other community that's like it. A mix of ages, a mix of people, no total equality, where age does not matter, and a platform for new writers to come up, people who didn't even know they had a passion for writing. Like tonight, even the barman had a poem, and it was incredible. And he won the 5-word challenge. That's what a Bhéal is to me, just giving people a platform, an opportunity to speak. It gave me an opportunity, and I want it to continue to give other people that chance that deserve to.
So it is very special. I think it is one of the best poetry gatherings in the country, and this has been said by many guests who have come. There is a wonderfully warm atmosphere. Everybody is very friendly. Nobody is kind of pushed out or made feel an intruder. It's just, and some wonderful poems. I mean, I have been regaled for the last 9 years in Bhéal by guest poets, by my colleagues, my friends who go to the open mic as I do myself. I think it's a wonderful invention, and all because of Paul Casey. You know, he's just an amazing character, a wonderful man, very self-effacing, and just allows this event to take place and facilitates it, and has actually brought other people into the line of being MC, and and they've fulfilled that role very wonderfully. So to me, it is just a huge boon in Cork City to have Bhéal. I love it. I have profited and enjoyed it, and just felt very, very welcomed in it. It's like the clasp of a community, somebody said, and I feel that in Bhéal.
Okay, Cork is the real capital of Ireland. It's got two things that Dublin doesn't have. It has Paul Casey and Bhéal.
It's such a brilliant mixture of spontaneity, like with the writing challenge and the open mic, and then also like it gives people a chance to hear most of the major poets throughout Ireland have performed at Bhéal, and also a lot of international poets. So I think it's a really good learning experience as a poet to come here every week. But it's also just great crack.
Well, I've been trying to close down Bhéal for the last 12 years or something? And I started coming recently because I'm retired from work, and I feel destroying from within has worked. All right, I've been coming to Bhéal for too long. This is Jerry Murphy. I finally destroyed Bhéal. It's gone.
My cousin recommended I go to Bhéal there a year or two ago, and haven't looked back really. It's a great social outlet, creative outlet, and now I get to call myself a poet, which is great. So yeah, that's it.
Well, Bhéal has done much to enrich the cultural life of Cork City, and has done much to improve my standard of living as well. It gives me confidence to write more poetry and just keep consistently at it. So,
well, in addition to its cultural significance, to the fantastic poets it brings every month, it has a really important mental health function. You know, a lot of the young people who join get the chance to show their vulnerability in a really safe space, and I think the loss of that on a weekly basis is a significant loss for the city in these times where the focus on mental health is very strong.
Yes, Bhéal have been very special to me because it had encouraged me to write more. It also has given me a lot of inspiration. Noise is music if you can interpret it, and Bhéal has pretty much brought me music.
From our weekly meeting, it's common to be frequent. There's some little parodies I write. I write parodies most Monday nights, and sometimes in that room I have been very inspired to write songs and to do some art. I come home and I've always had the most fulfilling night because I can do a little sketch of the visiting poet. I frequently find a song will come to me which I write in the loo downstairs and I often have a chance to do a little bit of improv. So you go home with a few little presents for yourself, and I just love the colour and the hybrid and the mix of the people there. I love the ecumenical nature of it all and the fact that it's a very non-judgmental and supportive group.
I find reading at Bhéal is it's just an amazing experience. You learn something about your own work, even though I would read my own work to myself out loud. Reading at Bhéal, you hear something different in the work and you know whether or not something needs changing. And the response from the peers at Bhéal are just amazing. It's just quite a different experience, I think, to any other open mic.
Like, it serves so many good things. Like, it makes you more motivated to do creative things like writing poetry and stuff like that, but even from a more practical standpoint, it's really good if you like doing things like public speaking, for example. You write a poem, you have to write it yourself, you have to go up and then present it to a crowd, and that can be very daunting at first, but then you get more and more comfortable, and it's really, really good learning experience. So
I had been working in medical life for 30 years where you couldn't even think about something creative, not really. And Bhéal really has been just a cradle of creativity for me and for all the people in there. And I've seen people come in there that are shy and nervous, the way I was very much so. I was very confident in my job and I could do conferences. I was very nervous to write a poem or share my thoughts. And Bhéal gives you that. Gradually you learn to open up and to be more confident about expressing yourself. And I've seen so many people grow in leaps and bounds, you know, very healed by the company. There's a certain unspoken bond between poets. They might often only know each other's first names, but they hear all the deep outer outpourings. And I think if I was a research person, I would be doing mood studies as to see mood enhancement and qualitative studies before and after an experience of 10 weeks of Bhéal. I think you'll probably find people have made progress in many ways, social, emotional, and, you know, the whole friendships that you form.
It has accompanied me through writer's block after I finished my thesis into a lot of creativity, political writing, even through brain injury, recovering, and basically to the heart. It has always kept me writing with the inspiration. I love the 5-word challenge. I love the fact that it includes all the different scenes of poets, all the poetic scenes of the city into its evening, and it's really embracing everybody. I love that about it, and it has kept me writing for a very long time.
We have had gentlemen in the mid-80s who were very much at the end stage of their lives. One man used to have a morphine lollipop, but he was very, very, he was my companion, and I would drive him home late at night. But then you'd have the very new people who just come in, had just done their leaving cert.
I've been coming to Bhéal since I was 17, and I'm 26 now. A platform to share your work when you don't even know what that work is, or if you don't know the meaning of what that work is at the time, but then it becomes kind of more apparent as you practice it, more coherent. And I think, like, without the platform to do that, it's very, it's hard to know whether or not it would have happened. And this is definitely, for me as a poet, this is the place where that happened for me. And like, if that wasn't there, it wouldn't have happened ultimately. And that's just talking for me. But I think on a general level, if you look at the scale of its influence in the city, and in terms of the sort of engagement it ignites with poetry and with expression,
So one of the things I really appreciate about Bhéal and Paul Casey having done this for all of us is the different voices that we hear from all over the world. It's just an amazing privilege to hear those in Cork.
Very interesting perspectives on the world, very thorough kind of engagement with different cultures, different lifestyles, and you really hear about it all in the open mic, and that's not even to mention the guest poets that come and perform and bring the whole career with them and give you an expression of that as best they can in the half an hour that they have. And
well, when you think that just about every poet laureate in these islands, with the exception of he who was going to come, he was supposed to come and he died 2 weeks before he was coming, but everyone has been here. It's a testament to the quality of the poetry and the different types of poetry that you get. Some of the poetry I've heard in here has been downright terrible, and other stuff I've heard in here would send you. It would totally take you away from yourself, from your daily existence, such as the transcendent quality of it. So I think it's going to be missed. It's going to be missed as a Monday night destination. That people, more and more visitors come through the door every week. More and more people come and find out about it, and now their choice is going to be curtailed, and I'm sad about that.
Anything less than a weekly event as it is at the moment is a real source of sadness for a lot of people, and it will be a real punch in the gut of the literary scene in Cork City and the artistic scene in general, and even for sometimes very vulnerable populations who come here on a Monday night every week. Like, it's going to be very sorely missed by them, and it's going to be sorely missed by me, 100%.
Of course, I would wish it to continue weekly, because it has been just... I mean, I am pretty ancient now, I'm 76, and to be able to walk into a pub and feel totally at home, that's a very, very rare occurrence so that's another thing, that it embraces all ages, all nationalities, people from all over the world, from India, from France, from Spain, you name it. People have come, America, of course, and everybody feels warmly welcome and at home.
My name is Josh, and I've been coming to Bhéal for a little while. It's my first year out of the United States, and I've been getting into poetry lately. Came to Bhéal, and everyone's very welcome. It's a great place to hear awesome poetry that is really inspiring, especially for new writers and new performers. So thank you, everyone, for the great poetry, and hope to see you soon.
It was great, and it's a really great community, and it's so supportive and lovely. But then I just kept doing it because I was having a real good time, and Paul Casey really supports writers and hooks them up with performing. And
Paul Casey has made this event possible, and I'm forever grateful for that. Had allowed me and allowed so many of us to find something here.
I find Paul an amazing, discreet, understated man who's just created a magic environment for so long. And he helped me when I was shy and nervous as a middle-aged woman. So he's done it for many others as well, by saying nothing, just giving you this little space, your 3 or 4 minutes, to recreate yourself a little.
2 years from that, I won the All-Ireland Poetry Slam, which means that I get to be the guest poet on Culture Night next year, and I can say that it was actually 3 years ago tonight that I read my first poem at Bhéal, and it was my first time writing poetry, so
Yeah.
Oh, God, help us. I don't want to have to repeat it. I'm not an actor. I'm not an actor. I'm not an actor.
You are.
Okay. Ovail is the best thing that has happened to me since I gave up sailing.
I will miss the weekly. I feel that when it goes to once a month, there'll be an absolute battle charge at the mic because so many people write so much and they're dying to share their work. And I just look forward to seeing how it evolves. I'm hopeful that we go back to once a week because that's a very intensive, productive 3 hours of non-stop writing at absolute tapestry awards. And I go home every night feeling I've been at a real one-off installation of beauty, of literary beauty, in all its forms, in the dark, in the rough, in the esoteric, it's all there. And that's what makes it interesting, all the little light and shade. Slán.